Bali is often portrayed as a paradise. With its stunning rice fields, beautiful beaches, and rich culture, it makes for the perfect holiday destination. However, there's a side to Bali that remains unseen by almost all tourists and most of us who live here. Hi, I'm Emilia, and the side I'm speaking of are the unimaginable conditions that some people on this island are put in. Not only are they cruel and inhumane, but very few people know about them. Even less have the resources to do something about it, and even less actually do. The video I'm about to play for you sheds light on one of the heartbreaking realities that people are put in. I advise any younger members of our audience to close their eyes or momentarily exit the sun cup, as the video contains sensitive content not meant for the younger audience. The people you saw in this video that are locked up or in chains are all people suffering with severe mental illness. Their own family locks them up because they can't afford the right medication that would allow them to live a somewhat normal life and not be in constant danger of harming themselves or those around them. In Indonesia, the practice of locking up the mentally ill is called pasung, and despite it being outlawed nearly 50 years ago in 1977, it is estimated that over 81,000 people across Indonesia still suffer from this practice today. Luckily, there is an organization that tackles not only the issue of pasung, but so much more. That organization is the Soul Family. They are dedicated to supporting vulnerable individuals and families grappling with mental illness and disabilities. Not just that, but they provide essential services like food, medical aid, and funding for children's education for over 800 families across Bali, and many would be lost without them. They walk in where others walk out. Now let me tell you a bit about how the Soul Family got started. Robert Epstone, one of two founders, pledged to go barefoot until he'd raised $1 million for people in need in Bali. In 2011, he completed his first barefoot walk of 535 kilometers around Bali, visiting villages where people had never seen a doctor in their entire lives and educating them about things of basic hygiene, nutrition, and health. He always attracted people walking with him, from little children in the village to grandmothers, and at the end of his very first walk, he had over 80,000 people marching behind him in front of the government offices in Denpasar. Shortly after Robert's barefoot walks, he met Sarah Chapman, a nurse on her own mission to care for people in Bali. They both have since been passionate and tireless volunteers, dedicating their lives to the people of Bali and putting the brightest smiles on the faces of those most in need. They walk in where others walk out. Gusana was one of them. He was locked away due to untreated mental illness and aggression that left his family and community terrified of him. His wife was pregnant when he was locked up by his village leader, and his son was never able to form a bond with his father and was afraid of him. Gusana then received treatment from a volunteer psychiatrist and was taught back basic life skills, like how to cross a road, and got reunited with his family. Another story of how this organization changed his life is the story of Wayan. He was born with a very rare genetic skin disease, and his toes and fingers fused together. The Soul Family first found him when he was 14 years old, and he was very small for his age. He then started to receive much-needed medical care and was able to undergo plastic surgery on his hands, allowing him the use of his fingers. This life-changing procedure enabled him to rediscover his passion for art and sell his paintings commercially. This is Wayan with Robert of the Soul Family holding one of his amazing drawings, and these are just a few of these paintings. Amazing, aren't they? Now, enough about the Soul family, let's talk a bit about my quest journey. As you might have guessed, choosing my quest was a difficult process. I had so many ideas, yet so much trouble choosing which one I should pursue. All I knew is I wanted to help people. I knew in order to do that, I, 1, had to find an organization to support, and 2, figure out how I was going to do that. I wish I could tell you how I thoroughly researched dozens of organizations before choosing the one, but in reality, the Soul family was the first one I clicked on, and I fell in love immediately. Shortly after meeting with them, I settled on wanting to collect donations of necessary items for the families they support, like clothes, toys, electronics, household items, and more. Alongside that, I wanted to raise both money and awareness for all the amazing work that they do. I worked on that for a while before I realized that I wanted to have a more lasting impact, one that the Soul family would benefit from long after my project was over. That's when I discovered the Paper Stay program. The Paper Stay program is where hotels add a small charge, like $1, to the end of their bill that then at the end of every month goes to the Soul family. I discovered this because they already have this pre-existing deal with the Hard Rock Hotel in Bali, and it brings in millions of rupiah for them every month. I know how much they benefit from that, and I wanted to help them. Little did I know this was going to be the most challenging aspect of my quest. Drafting the emails, sending out what felt like thousands of them, waiting ages for them to reply, and then getting a no was not easy. I quickly realized that most of these hotels were already associated with charities of their choosing, and I had contacted them far too late in the year. But don't worry, I'm still in contact with some of them, and we're trying to brainstorm a different way that we can come together to support the Soul family. So please, wish me luck. Oh. Throughout this project, I really grew as a person, with every visit I made to the Soul family Bali and their events. I still wonder how people have the strength to be working in this field, as it really challenged me to see such suffering firsthand. But at the same time, I saw those very people with the brightest smiles on their faces, despite their disabilities and deformities. As I wrap up my presentation, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on all the things I'm proud of myself for throughout the course of this project. I'm proud I saw this project through to the end. I'm proud I chose such an important cause and therefore organization. And finally, I'm proud that as of yesterday, I reached my fundraising goal of 100 million rupiah. I'd like to thank Robert and Sarah of the Soul family for leading such an important organization and always answering my questions. I'd like to thank my Quest teachers and advisors for guiding and advising me through this difficult process. I'd like to thank my friends for keeping me on track and cheering me on no matter what. I'd like to thank my dad, who helped me spread the word, Jane for supporting me from the beginning, and my mom for helping me with my speech and presentation. And finally, I'd like to thank my brother, Noel, for always challenging my ideas and reminding me that this process is supposed to be fun and driven out of passion. So if you haven't already, please consider making a donation to the Soul family, either through me or directly at their website. You can find them at thesoulfamily.com. And remember, they walk in where others walk out. Thank you very much.